Welcome to the stream, Avi and Jonah. It's a pleasure, man. Good. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, of
Good to
course.
be
Thanks
here.
for having us. We were just shooting the shit right before we got on about NFTs.
No way.
I was telling Jonah about my Ether Rock that I've held on to for like 4 years at this point.
What did you pay for it?
And I think I paid 65 grand for it,
Whoa.
and I think the top sale in 2021 was 2.5 mil, and now the lowest you can buy it for is 175 ETH.
That's insane.
Still pretty good.
I made this
But
tweet.
it's like
I made this tweet. I think I think it was July 15th, and I said, on-chain was getting hot again. I said, we're 30 days away from a 7-figure Ether Rock sale, and then there was like a 300K sale, and I think the last one was like 650 maybe. So we didn't hit the. Is yours for sale? Like, are you looking to sell it or no?
I'm never selling it. The cabal is too good. Too many good people in this chat.
Is it real?
Sell it.
Is there actually like just chads in this chat?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna dox everybody, but yeah.
That's awesome. I think CL was tweeting the other day he had an Ether Rock, which is awesome.
Yeah, CL's actually the one that convinced me to get it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He was like, you need to buy this rock, and I had faded him super hard on this thing called the Unisocks.
I know about the socks. Hell yeah.
I was like, dude, that's so stupid. There's no way. And then they just ripped, and I was like, okay, I'll buy the rock. I'll buy the fucking rock.
That's fucking awesome. What a way to start. I mean, look, Jonah and Avi from ThousandX Pod, welcome to the stream. I'm a fan, by the way. I've been following you guys for a while. Do you want to, maybe I'll throw it to Jonah, then Avi, like quick intro, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm one of the co-hosts of the ThousandX podcast. I'm like the boring old guy with the TradFi background. Unlike Avi, who is just busy buying rocks at super cheap prices, and then now they're worth 10 times as much. I was doing the opposite. I was like kind of FOMOing into crypto. Bought my punk for 150 ETH. Now it's worth like a third of that. You know, just getting it wrong. But I'm here to provide some dad jokes and some color and some, anecdotes that maybe help people figure out how to do less stupid stuff in their trading on the podcast. That's my role. And obviously, look at your background, dude. We've got to get a better background.
It's a movie.
Yeah, that's sick. Is that the Phantom?
Yeah, shout out to Phantom, partner of the stream. I go back and forth on like, is it too much? Is it perfect? I think it's a good balance. So we bring serious people on with the penguin in the background and the turf, and it works.
Oh, dude, I love it. That's awesome. That's so good.
Avi, you want to go
Very
too?
different from mine, but
yeah.
But I actually don't let Jonah undersell himself. Jonah was an absolute Chad oil trader at Vitol and Goldman, like made an absolute killing, and then came into crypto as his retirement play. So don't let him undersell himself. I've learned a lot from this guy. Very Chad trader. I, on the other hand, quit my first job like 6 months into it, straight out of uni to go into crypto full time. Ended up trading, and ended up as the head trader for a cryptocurrency hedge fund called Block Tower for a few years. Ended up taking over the liquid fund, and I think we did some really cool stuff. We were like the first real institutional grade fund alongside Multicoin and one other back in 2017, 2018. And then from there, moved into the actual institutional world. So I started up the crypto program at Golden Tree, which is like a big $50 billion credit distressed fund asset manager. They wanted to get into crypto, and they brought me on as a partner to go build that out for them. I did that for a few years until I decided I want to go out and trade on my own, and now that's what I'm doing. So and I actually met Jonah at the FTX Bahamas event.
Whoa!
In 2022.
No way! What?
Yeah.
FTX Bahamas event.
Where we met. Yeah.
Was it insane?
It was the best conference we'd ever been to. It was so well organized. I mean, obviously you can put on an awesome conference when you're paying for it with stolen customer funds, but like, we weren't in like the top tier. We weren't in like the Giselle and Tom Brady, green room, but we were still like, it was a good scene there. There was a lot going on, and I met Avi there, and he was already a crypto celebrity at that time. Like we were taking a little walk down one of the piers at this Bahamian resort, and people were coming up to me like, "Oh, it's Avi, Avi, hey, what's up?" It was incredible. He's like,
I was way cooler back then.
You were peak
Not
froth
anymore.
in 2021.
Peak froth.
Peak froth. That's awesome. I mean, look, I got the Avi follow back on Twitter, so I was doing a little fanboying as well. But all right, it's a good day on the markets today. And I mean, Jonah, I gotta throw it to you. I think you tweeted very recently that you sold a lot of crypto, hype, ETH.
Yep.
Talk to me about that trade and sort of how you're feeling right now.
I feel like kind of horrendous right now. I was 10 out of 10. I was an 11 out of 10 long crypto up until basically Monday of this week. And meaning I had as much fiat as I could invested in crypto, and I had leverage too. So I was basically all in over my skis. And then I thought, I don't know how Friday's going to go. To me, it just seems like a coin flip. The main feature that I think is driving the market higher right now is these treasury companies just raising $2 of investor funds to buy $1 worth of shitcoins or maybe ETH or Bitcoin. And the metrics that we track to see the sort of health of those ecosystems, which is the ratio, basically whether these things are trading at a premium or discount. They're all trending down from premium towards discount if they aren't already in discount. So I thought, you know what? Let me just respect what I told myself I'd do and take a little bit of profit. I haven't really sold anything since, like, I've been long the entire way up. It's been great. I figured it's time to take some profit. Not much. Maybe I'm like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 long now, and I'm happy about it, but I still feel the FOMO of what I could have held on to. It's not that much higher than where I sold. Maybe I'll have to buy back in. I think Avi was saying something really smart about this. In crypto, we believe in the reflexivity of crypto. Like when you can buy rallies, it's okay, right? In commodities, when prices go up, demand drops and supply increases, so they just mean revert right back down. In crypto, and prices go up, like it's party time. It brings people in and they go higher. So maybe I'll just buy right back in. I don't know, Avi, what do you think?
Look, what I'll say is I'm ridiculously bullish. I voiced this on the podcast and I put out a tweet when the market was dipping and everyone was freaking out. Like that was the shakeout. I think a lot of people just got nervous heading into Jackson Hole. They started to de-risk, kind of did what Jonah did. And now we get into the 8th and 9th inning of crypto where you probably see some insane moves. Like I could see ETH 8,000, 9,000 in the next 6 to 8 weeks, honestly. Like if this keeps up. But if it gets there, you're selling everything and like you're taking out a mortgage to short the market if you have the balls to, because like this is when stuff kind of gets crazy. Is when you have that mentality of, okay, fuck, I got shaken out of the market. It's ripped back to all-time highs. Now I pile in. This is when stuff gets stupid. And so my mentality heading into this was, I want to buy this dip because I don't think markets, like the cycle's over. It hasn't gotten crazy enough. But I'm going to be clipping pretty aggressively, like as we go up, because I think we're closer to the end than the beginning for sure.
I like the take. Also, Avi, I think you have like a little mic static. I don't know if it's me or if Jonah hears it as well, but Jonah, I'll throw it to you. Like, can you give a high level breakdown of why the market pumped today and like why we heard bullish news?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jackson Hole is, just this big conference in Wyoming where various central bankers meet up and jawbone about how they're going to control the lending rates across the world. And the Fed chairman's speech is always the most important part of that. So Powell gave his speech, and he's been kind of behind the curve for the last 5 years, right? When inflation was really out of control, he was late to address it. And now that inflation is coming down, and frankly, a lot of people on the right end of the political spectrum are saying, "Hey, you should have cut interest rates a while ago." He's been pretty resolute in not talking dovish. He's been kind of neutral, and our ecosystem really, like crypto in general, just needs interest rates lower to keep pumping. Where it feels like we've kind of reached this stabilized equilibrium for stocks and crypto, and basically risk assets as a whole. The economy's kind of there's not a lot of juice left in the squeeze unless interest rates come lower.
Yeah.
And if interest rates come lower, there are trillions and trillions of dollars sitting in T-bills that will come out and get pumped into risk assets that, like the ones that we trade, the second 25 basis points get hacked from that prompt interest rate. So I think the mentality up until Jackson Hole, and I'm not an interest rate trader. This isn't my primary area of expertise, but like it just felt like consensus that Powell was going to be neutral again, not really focused on the deflationary effects of all the things that we're seeing. Another big one was tariffs. People were expecting inflation from tariffs because a tariff is basically a consumption tax that's kind of inflationary, right? And everybody was expecting Powell to say, well, we haven't really seen the impact of that. We need to wait a little bit more to see if there's going to be some inflation from, he's a very academic guy, and everyone thought he was just going to want to wait it out. And every single person in the economy here in the United States is just waiting for an interest rate cut for their business to pick up. So this was kind of a surprise. Like, this is the fact that he talked about labor market issues and all these things that he hasn't really been talking about lately to, stimulate the labor market with lower interest rates. It was kind of out of left field. Not saying he's wrong or nothing in a bad way. It's just everyone, including me, was caught off guard. And so you've got huge moves. Like the stock market's up 1.5% today. That's big for that market, right? And anything that's highly speculative like ETH or my favorite altcoin Aerodrome is just up 15-20% in a straight line.
What is Aerodrome, by the way? I don't even know what it is. I've heard of it. I've seen the ticker, but you're fucking tweeting about this thing like a maniac. What is it?
I love Aerodrome.
What is it? Give me a yeah.
I mean, Aerodrome's great. It's basically it's the DEX on base, right? It's the DEX where all of the stuff gets traded on base, and it's done an amazing job actually capturing market share. So if you go and you just look at where are things traded on base, it's basically all Aerodrome. And base, I think people are making the bet that that's going to be a huge onboarding tool for retail, because you can now trade on chain through Coinbase itself. So people are betting, I think, on all the base proxies, and Aerodrome is going to get a lot of volume from that.
Yeah, it's fucking ripping right now. I'm so washed on base. But Solana's a kind of a ghost town right now. I'm washed on base.
You got Yeezy coin.
Oh,
you got the Yeez.
I'm pretty bearish on the casino right now. I'm bullish on chain. I'm bearish on the casino. I talked about this a lot yesterday. How do you ever surpass Donald Trump coin? And it feels like there's a lot of froth in Solana on chain, but really the casino. I mean, Avi, I want to go to you. You said that you think we're 7th, 8th, 9th inning here, but we still, like, you have 9K, 10K targets for ETH. There's a lot of people, I think, that watch this stream and a lot of people in general in crypto that showed up in 2024 for Solana meme coins. And they didn't get to see the blow off the top from last cycle. And maybe I've never really seen a proper late stage blow off the top for a crypto bull market. Can you do your best to articulate what generally happens in the late innings and how to identify it, how to play it?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, and I want to take you back to October of 2017. In October of 2017, Bitcoin was 10K, and from October to December, it went from 10K to 20K. It literally doubled. It's kind of one of those things where you have to understand that things happen very quickly in the late stages of a bull cycle. And what tends to happen is that you get a huge run from BTC, a huge run from all of the proxies, and then a very short, probably 3 to 4 week period where altcoins absolutely take off. And then it's done. And then everything starts to come in, because what's happened is that you've pulled forward so much capital, and you've attracted so much interest that you've just completely overshot the ability to maintain these prices. Like, if Bitcoin goes up over the course of 2 years to $200,000, that's a very different than if Bitcoin goes up to $200,000 in 2 months. It's just, you have more time to cycle out the weekends. The people that are buying it probably have higher cost averages. In the late stage, people are just shoving money in hand over fist, and it tends to just be solely because of FOMO. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that. Now, my read on this market is that it's too wide relative to 2017 and even 2021. There are way too many things out there, like way too many. There are tens of thousands of meme coins that get launched every 30 seconds. That's all of this stuff is not going to pump. Like, is dog with hack going to pump in the late stages of a bull cycle? I don't know. Which is why, like, when I'm making my bets, I'm going to bet that ETH is going to go to 7K, 8K. I'm going to bet that Solana might go to 400, 500. I'm going to bet something like Arrow, which I actually like, or Aave, which is actually doing real stuff, is going to triple in the late stages of a bull cycle. I'm going to bet that Link, that has a community behind it, is gonna pop off. What I'm not going to do is bet on shitters, because I just don't know. Like, I don't know if those people are going to cycle their money into this stuff. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen. And my bet is that for most of them, the answer is probably no. And so I'm focused on the large caps actually this time.
Where's Bitcoin trading if ETH is trading 7 or 8K?
I think ETH BTC could revert to 0.6.
Whoa.
So, I mean, I don't know, maybe 150 or something.
Sounds about right.
This question might be a duh obvious, but how do you identify when mania has begun?
I'm trying to figure that out. It's not an obvious question at all.
Yeah.
It's not an obvious question, but I think basically when you see what you're seeing right now, which is dips are getting bought in an absurd way. It's very a 15% move on ETH is not a normal move. A 15% move into the all-time highs is exceptionally not a normal move, especially after people were calling for the top 3 days ago. Mania definitely hasn't started, in my opinion, because I haven't seen like a 50% day from anything yet. But this is like the best setup that you could possibly get for a mania, which is a massive move. Basically, nobody got in. A ton of people got shaken out. Equity markets are looking fantastic. Things are pushing all-time highs. Like Solana's back at 200 right now. If it gets above 205, I think this thing's going to 300 in short order. I'm super bullish, and you almost never hear me talk this bullish. I'm normally Jonah's talking my ear off about, oh man, like I'm so bullish I can't fucking see straight, and I'm the one saying no, we have to be a little bit more careful. I don't know. I'm pretty damn bullish right now.
Just to your question about mania though, like the reason why for the very first time I'm not so bullish I can't see straight is because to me, the sign of mania was the treasury companies. Like when you see failing EV companies pivot to becoming ETH treasury companies, or, just talking to people who I know in crypto, advising these different treasury companies, the amount of money they're raising from investors, they're paying it away in legal fees. Like they're basically, they're giving you $1 worth of crypto for $2 of investment. To me, it just seems so. That is the first time where I was thinking like, all right, this may be a top signal. Not that I think crypto is anywhere close to topping out, but it's the first real like warning sign. Just to give you a TradFi analogy, this feels to me a lot like in 2006 and 2007 when people were inventing all these random credit structures, CDO squareds, like just like financial innovation structuring without like a clear use case to me. Other than, okay, maybe certain people who work in certain pods at hedge funds can't buy altcoins, but they can buy this treasury company. Like like questionable financial structuring in size is a warning, like a yellow light. So that's why I took it down from max risk to like almost max risk, but still.
But they're just not that big yet. That's the thing. Like these treasury companies in aggregate, they're not that big yet.
Let me ask you a question.
I haven't sold all my crypto.
Let me ask you
I'm not bearish.
Let me ask you a question on the treasury company thing. I like the analogy. I was 6, but I have seen The Big Short, so I'm caught up. 3 months ago, I had David Bailey come on the stream at the very beginning of this, and he comes on 3-4 months ago, maybe now, and he's like, just nothing matters. Treasury companies are the only thing you should pay attention to. Naka is gonna go to the moon. I'm gonna make $1 billion, and like no one can stop me. It's basically pay attention to nothing else, threadguy, except for these treasury companies. And so we kind of did that. Like I'm bringing all these more institutional people on. We're talking about them. We're covering them the whole way. And I feel like at no point has there really been a trade for me to make on the treasury companies. I'm trying to figure out, did I completely miss this wave? Was it really only institutional and venture led? Has the real blow off the top not really happened yet? Like, have you made money on DApps this cycle?
So let me give you the background on DATs and like how it works for the people on the stream that are not getting shown these deals. There are a few companies like Cantor Fitzgerald, Cohen and Cohen. These are investment banks, and they structure these DATs. So what'll happen is a group of people will come to them and they'll say, "I think we can raise a ton of money into a shell structure. Can you help us find a company that is public but doesn't actually have any real operating business? And we'll take it, we'll buy it, we'll take it over, we'll raise money for it, and then we'll turn it into a treasury company." And so what these investment banks will do is they say, "Okay, great. What we're going to do is we're going to take a 5% stake in the company as our quote unquote fee for structuring this thing, and then we're going to go around to people and we're going to raise money at a discount to NAV to raise money into this vehicle." So you get to buy in if you're getting shown these deals anywhere from like negative 10% to at fair value for these companies. You invest and you get issued shares. What then happens is that they go on the public markets and they immediately trade at like a 1.52x premium. And after 45 to 90 days, your shares unlock and you get to sell and get out. Another thing that's happening is that people, especially in the Solana world, are putting in their locked Solana into these vehicles to get liquidity immediately. So you get to put in your 4-year locked Solana at market value price, get shares in the company, and then dump them on retail. So this, I'm telling you guys this because people are going to hate me for saying this out loud, because I might be blowing up the game, but basically, like, it's impossible for retail to make money on this game. Like, they're just not going to make money on it.
I mean, there is a trade, which is
Like,
let's say just take an ETH treasury company, you buy ETH and you sell the DAT, notional neutral, because the DAT will underperform ETH over time as the insiders dump their bags. So you play for a compression in the valuation of the DAT back down towards that sort of flat to NAV level, or maybe even play for it to go into a discount. I think the best trade, though, Avi and I talked about this on our last podcast. Shout out to the ThousandX pod, is to just have some dry powder and wait for all these DATs to crash into like pretty severe discount territory and then buy it all up like GBTC. Or maybe not all of it, but the ones that won't go bankrupt, which is...
Yeah, no, that's going to be a great trade. At some point, they're going to trade at a 20 to 40% discount, and then you get to buy Bitcoin basically for free. I mean, some of these guys, you know, some of the holders might get liquidated, who knows? But they're going to trade at a discount at some point.
Thank you for covering that, actually, because I mean, I've been bringing some legit people on. We're talking about the DATs, and I'm like, man, am I losing it here? How much gas is left in the DAT? I mean, it doesn't even really feel like we've hit. I feel like more people are talking about DAT mania than DAT mania that's actually happening in the market. Maybe I'm off on that. How much gas do you think it has left on this just being a focus?
Oh, I think you nailed it. I think that people are talking about it more than this actually happened. There are like hundreds of DATs in the pipeline right now. There are a lot more that are trying to be structured right now. And what I will say is that some of them, especially the more ETH focused ones, are doing interesting stuff. So if you can stake ETH through the DAT, if the DAT is staking ETH and taking play, you know, they're putting their capital to work in DeFi and they're generating yield on their ETH. That's actually kind of interesting because ETH ETFs don't do that.
Yeah.
If a Bitcoin DAT, there are some that are coming out. What they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're going to buy cash flowing companies. Like, we're going to buy a agriculture company. We're going to buy a mineral company. And then we're going to take the cash flows from these companies and we're going to buy Bitcoin with it. Like, imagine a Berkshire Hathaway that just buys up a ton of companies. And then instead of putting their war chest into cash, they put it into Bitcoin. That stuff's actually, I think, going to come out and maybe will succeed longer term. But I do think that outside of all of this, even just the straight money, there's money flowing into this. Like, people are raising money left and right for this stuff. So I think we've got at least another 10, 20 billion to go in terms of added capital into this stuff.
My follow-up is, do you think this institutional money is going to flow back on chain? Because I mean, there's this thing that's happening, man, where crypto Twitter is kind of a ghost town right now. All things considered, what's happening in the, I mean, it's up double-digit percent, and it's like no one really. I mean, people care, but it's pretty wild. Every time we dip 5% after a 30% move, it's cycles over. There's target 50K targets on Bitcoin. And I think one of the reasons it's just happening is that on chain is just pretty dry. There's just like there's coins going up and there's money to be made. Do not get me wrong. But 2024 was the year of Solana on chain, the meme coin casino. And if you were playing anything else, you were making a mistake. You almost had to be playing new pairs. And the people that weren't willing to do that were just watching everybody else get rich. And it feels like that is completely flipped. I've made a pretty substantial bet on spot pump because I do think on chain will get hot again, or hotter from where it is. Not necessarily the meme coin casino, but I think if on chain's hot, Sol's hot, pump fund will just do well. But there's really no data right now that points to the fact that if Bitcoin, if ETH goes to 10K, if Sol goes to 400, that we'll see anything like what we saw in 2024. Like, do you guys, maybe I'll go Avi then Jonah, I want to hear both of your takes on this. Do you think the flows are going to come back to on chain and we're going to see euphoria like we did in 2024, or maybe bigger?
I don't think so. Here's what I'll say is I don't think it's going to look at all what it looked like in 2024. You might see a short period of gambling that occurs. Like, for example, I think if Solana goes to 400, people that are holding Solana, they're going to diversify some of that and they're going to go punt meme coins. I feel like I don't know. You tell me. You might be more into this than I, but I feel like the culture is kind of toxic now. It's not as fun. It's not as, oh man, we can make money on this stuff. It's very extractive. It feels kind of gross now. So I don't know if people are going to put their money into it as the same way.
Will you?
Yeah.
I'll say this and I'll throw it to you. I think what happened is the best case scenario happened. It's like, people used to always joke at 2021, the worst thing one of these NFT companies could do is deliver on the promise that they raised money on. And once you get 75, the leader of the free world tweeting a CA, it's like, what do you dream about, right? You can't even dream about flipping the stock market anymore, SPX 600. You lose the ability to dream, and then ceilings compress. And I think that has happened at scale. I mean, Jonah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to hear your take as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that I think what really killed the 2024 meme coin bubble was when the dog with the hat didn't end up on the sphere. I think that was when that was like emblematic of the grift. And to me, it's interesting that you can gamble on a Ponzi scheme and just try to be early and then get out before the music stops. It's a new kind of gambling that people haven't really done at scale in a long time. And it was a valuable use case for degenerate gambling on chain. So great, that's what 2024 was about. But I think once people realize the limitations of that, the arc of those pumps has become really compressed. Like, I found a Solana meme coin I liked this year. It 10x'd and then it went straight to zero within a day. It's just, people don't have patience for this stuff anymore. These trades don't run. So I think what's going to need to happen in order for, I think, Solana gambling to get interesting again is you're going to have to come up with something a little bit different or new, like sports betting or prediction markets on Solana, maybe prediction markets that are better than Polymarket or Kalshi somehow, which is possible. So that could happen.
I'm optimistic about the prediction market thing. The one thing I will say is that for as much coverage as prediction markets get and as much as the narrative is pushed, the amount of people, I'll ask my chat, I did this the other day, who here has executed a trade on Polymarket? It's 90-10, no. And I think that will change, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm very optimistic that will change for a lot of reasons. Look, this has been sick. I have the 30-minute slots. I think they're fun. We're at 30. The one thing I definitely want to give you guys a chance to talk about really quick is, first of all, shout out the 1000X pod. You guys do great work. But I believe you guys just launched a trading terminal that I want to give you a chance to talk about, overview, why you built it, what it is, what it does, and why we should use it, because we got a lot of fucking people that like to trade in here. I'll tell you that.
No, I appreciate that. It actually came out of conversations between me and Jonah. We uploaded a bunch of our podcast transcripts into basically into Claude and tried to generate an output that would be helpful. Like if you base your ideas off of this podcast transcripts, can you become a version of Jonah and I? Like, can you take our brains and create a trading buddy? And so the first version was not particularly successful. We've iterated and we've built it up a lot. Originally, we just kind of wanted to build something that was good for ourselves. And I think what we've done is we built kind of like a Jonah and Avi in a box for you to bounce trading ideas off of. Like pull I'm serious, like pull, it has a bunch of data piped into it that we've like proprietary data that we've pulled from a bunch of different sources. You can kind of think about it as like a chat GPT optimized for trading based on our personalities with a bunch of crypto
Train on
data.
our podcast too.
Yeah.
It turns out it's really hard to build AI stuff. Took us longer than we thought. It's not as simple as just like uploading some transcripts. It's some serious code. Right now it's invite only beta, but we should be releasing the live version like within days. So about to go live soon.
Shoot me an invite if you have room.
Yeah, we'll do.
You got it. We'll send you some of the tokens too because it's gonna be a little gated.
Oh, word. Let's go. That's fucking awesome.
With the token. Yeah. We haven't really done any real marketing on this because we wanted to be super proud of the product before we go it out. So I appreciate you bringing it up for us.
Yeah, I think I saw someone tweet about, one of you guys tweet about it, and that's when I originally hit you up and was like, use this to get him on the stream, talk about it a little bit. Okay, as sort of a sign off, each of you, we talked about coins you like, we talked about trades, but where do you think, what sector, specific coin, what market, it doesn't have to be crypto, do you think the most opportunity is for people to pay attention to over the next 3-6 months here?
I think you just need to ride the mechanical bull and not get thrown off. Like I feel so dumb for taking profit. And there's this saying, right? The reason why most people don't make it in crypto is because you have to be dumb enough to buy the coin and smart enough to sell it. I tried to get a little smart and it's not that great. So I think you just avoid the shit coins and buy the stuff that has legs, revenue, narrative, big L1s. You'll be fine.
I think it's a smarter trade to 2x long ETH than it is to buy a shitcoin at this. Like that's my take. It's actually, I think it's a better trade. I'm very confident in the large caps going up, and you can size that trade up. And if you're a real gambler, you can gamble on it using leverage. I think it's smarter to do that than it is to try to like find a shitter that might go up. So that's what I'm bullish on. I'm bullish on. I mean, to list it off, like Aave, Link, Arrow, ETH, like all of this stuff. I'm bullish on. Funnily enough, Ripple.
Whoa.
I think Wall Street's kind of driving this market, and they love the thing for God knows what reason, and it's probably going to go public in the next few months. That's going to be very good for it. Like, I'm bullish on the big stuff. I hate to say it, like focus on the big stuff if I were you.
What happens if Ripple goes public and they have liquid token XRP?
It's just a catalyst for the token. I think people just buy the token as like it's going public. So Ripple has a foundation. Ripple has a company associated with it that is like an operating company that owns, I think, half of all Ripple, and they're currently a private company. They bought Hidden Road. They're going out there. They're buying companies. They have billions of dollars on their balance sheet, and their main business is pumping the Ripple token. Like that's how they make all their money, is they pump the Ripple token and then they sell a little bit. So when it goes public, that just makes it even easier for them to like they'll just turn into like the biggest treasury company overnight.
Whoa. Has that happened where one of these large publicly traded companies has like a liquid token that's as big as, or even at the same scale as XRP?
No.
Whoa.
No, never. That's why I'm like reasonably.
I mean, there's
bullish
Circle,
on
but
them.
it's a stable coin.
Yeah, this is a
token
huge deal if this happens. Yeah.
The only thing that I wonder about is like Ripple's XRP's FDV is 300 billion. They're not going to be IPOing anywhere near that. So at some point,
oh my God,
does the equity valuation compress to the token valuation? What does that look like? But I agree. Knee jerk is just number go up.
300 is insane.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, makes sense. Look, I'll tell you what. I woke up yesterday and I came on the stream and I was like, guys, we're doing bear porn today for the first time in a while. We're bearish today, and it was a fucking beautiful 180 switch up. You guys are awesome. Also, chat 1000X Pod. Genuinely recommend it. Not paid to say it. I'm a listener. You guys do a great job, and I appreciate you giving me the time to come on the stream. It was awesome. You guys are sick. Honestly, you guys are sick.
Dude,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you so much for having us. This was awesome. This was
Also,
really
you
fun.
have sick. Sometimes running like a three. Okay, three-way doesn't sound right. A three-man interview is tough. It's like weird. How do you throw? You guys have really good baseball between you. It makes my job really easy. So thanks again, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
of
dude.
course.
All right, have a
Appreciate
good one,
it.
y'all.